So good morning students. Today we are going to discuss Bangalore University subject strategic management, unit number 5, strategic evaluation. In this unit we will be discussing the last session, that is session number 56, which deals with key performance indicator and key result areas. I am Mujib Khan, Assistant Professor, Government First Grade College, Kanakapura. So before going into this session, let us have the recap of the last session. In the last session, we had discussed the various techniques used in comprehensive analysis of strategic evaluation techniques, and we came to know different techniques available in comprehensive analysis. Now, in the last session, we will be discussing on the KPI, that is key performance indicator, and the key result area. Let us discuss the meaning of key performance indicators. See, the key performance indicators, these are the indicators of key performance of the organization. See, that means to say that how you judge a company that is a good company. So many indicators are there, but the best indicator is, you can say that the perception and goodwill of this company in the minds of the customers, or the profit it earns as an indicator, as the dividend distribution of this company, dividend policy of the company. So all these are called as the indicators. See, in order to judge the goodwill of a particular college or a school, we need to indicate it through the results. So what is the percentage of results it is giving to the students and to the society, and what type of quality products it is releasing. So this is one way where we can indicate the performance of a company. I gave just one or two examples. Now let us discuss the meaning and definition of this. Key performance indicator, as the name itself signifies, the financial and non-financial metrics. It uses both financial and non-financial metrics or parameters used by the firm to judge the success of the organization, to judge the strength, fortify strength of the organization towards success. What are the financial and non-financial parameters, and how they indicate the company's success towards the goal that they have set up, towards the achievement of that goal. So key performance indicators are nothing but the financial and non-financial parameters used by the firm to gauge the success towards the goals of the organization. See, after ascertainment of the organization's mission, identification of stakeholders and determination of goals, the progress towards the goal is evaluated through key performance indicators. These are the elements of the company plans. Keep that in mind. These are the elements of company plans that expresses what the company wants to achieve and by when. What does it expresses? It expresses what does the company want to achieve and by when. In its simplest form, KPI is a type of performance measurement that helps you to understand how your organization or department is performing. So it definitely helps us whether the performance of the company is acceptable or we need some sort of changes to be made or some alterations to be made or to delete it or to abort it or any changes to be made in future. All these things can be done with the help of these KPIs. See, one way to evaluate the relevance of performance indicator is to use SMART criteria as we discussed in the last class. So what does this SMART acronym says? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound. Specific objectives should be specific. Relevant or realistic, relevant to the company or realistic, which are attainable, and time bound. Here we evaluate the relevance of performance indicator by asking certain questions and finding out answers to that. They are: is the company's objectives specific? Do we have specific objective? And can you measure the progress towards that goal? Is the goal realistically attainable? How relevant is the goal to your organization? What is the time frame for achieving this goal? So all these questions need to be answered. Let us see the key performance indicators in the organization. Some of the examples we will discuss. Key performance indicators in sales or marketing. How you can judge sales and marketing is doing well or not? If these criteria in sales are done, or if it is matches to your objectives, then you can say that the department of sales is doing good job, appreciable job. Let us take some examples. Number of new contracts signed per period, for every week, for quarterly, for half yearly or for yearly. What are the contracts that you are signed for sales? It could be electronic products, daily usable products, fast moving consumer goods, FMCGs, or any other type of product of your company. If contracts are signed, if people are purchasing your product regularly, that means that your sales department is doing well. No doubt that the product's durability and quality is also contributing towards that. Goodwill of the company is also contributing towards that. But sales department is doing well because they are demonstrating, they are explaining, they are meeting the people, okay? They are trying to identify the target markets, potential markets. They are trying to keep the consumers in touch, in contact with consumers. Supply chain management is good. Then money value of new contract signed per period. If the money value is considerable, if the money value is high, then you can say that it is the indicator of a good sales. The number of contracts signed is less and the money value is also less, then you can say that it indicates that business needs a lot of improvement in terms of sales. Then what are the resources that you have? then how you are going to conversate with your potential customers, with your target customers, what are the net sales you are making for 1 year or for quarterly or half yearly. So looking into the sales statements, zone wise, area wise, unit wise, quality wise, price wise, you can judge that so and so quality product, so and so unit of product, so and so quantity of products are being sold, and this is the value, and these are the net sales. You can create sales trends, and you can say that sales department is doing well. Financial indicators. How you can say that financially a company is doing well? Take that example. Growth in revenue. If the income level of the company is increasing, in the beginning itself I told that the criteria for judging whether the company is good or bad could be the income level, that is nothing but generation of revenue. So at the end of the year, if it is making the income and expenditure and the income is exceeding the expenditure, it is making a revenue. That is the indicator that the company is doing well. Then the net profit margin. For keeping the profit, companies may adopt different techniques. Some people may adopt the technique of cost plus margin. That means the company may calculate first the cost incurred for the manufacturing of that product. To that cost, total cost incurred, they add a less percentage of profit. Some company add less percentage of profit because they are not profit making. If they have stated in their company's vision and mission that they are non-profit making, they keep less percentage. If they have mentioned and stated that they are profit making units or commercial units, they can keep more percentage of profit to the cost incurred for 1 unit of product. The total cost incurred is calculated first, then percentage of profit is added to that, then they will fix the price by adding total cost plus this percentage of profit. The cost may be the cost of direct material. The cost may be the cost of direct labor or direct cost, direct expenditure, or maybe overheads. So if you total these costs, you will come to know prime cost. If you add a percentage of profit to this, you can call or sometimes what we do is in cost accounting we prepare cost sheet. So the total cost incurred to produce a product, cost of direct material, cost of direct labor, then direct expenditure. To this we add few more costs. So the combination of these three, the addition of these three, we will get prime cost. To this prime cost we add factory cost. So opening and closing stock of raw materials we add. So we will get factory cost. To this we add office and administration cost. There we add opening and closing. We add and deduct opening and closing, work in progress. By adding all the costs, we will get the total cost incurred to manufacture the product per unit. So when we arrive at the total cost per unit, we add a percentage of profit to it. It is called as cost plus pricing. It's one way of making the profit or net profit margin. What is the concept of net profit? Will be judged by looking into the past financial records, that too the income statements, profit and loss statement. Will come to know what is the net profit we have arrived at after so many expenses in the raw stage and in the finished goods stage. It is an indicator whether the company is doing well or not. Gross profit before administrative expenses, net profit after administrative expenses, operational cash flows, whether our cash flows are increasing every year or not, cash from operating activities, cash from financing activities, cash from investing activities, whether we are able to generate more cash, cash flow, source of cash, funds are flowing in or funds are flowing out, cash is flowing in or cash is flowing out. It indicates the financial performance of the company. The accounts receivables situation, whether we have to receive more or less. What is the stock turnover ratio? The inventories like raw material, work in progress, finished goods. What is the level of turnover? Because how much of debtors to be collected, and what is our EBT and what is our EBAT, earnings before and after tax, earnings before tax and depreciation. All these aspects will show our financial position. They indicate that our financial position is good or bad. If they indicate the financial position is good, then nothing more can be done. Just allowing the things to happen in whatever way it is happening. And if the things are not happening properly, if the indicators are showing poor performances financially, then the company need to consider its strategies properly. See, for examples I have given these two. You can consider the performance indicators in terms of human resources. See, when you consider the human resource KPIs, you can see the skills. Do we have the skillful human resources? Attendance of the human resources. Are the employees attending the work regularly, or the absenteeism is more, are the employees not retaining in the organization because of the policies of the organization? If the policy of the organization is good towards the development of the human resources, definitely the human resources will retain in the organization for the development of the organization and for the development of their own self. But if the employees feel that the organization is not providing them what they are expecting, there is no scope for promotion, there is no scope for workers' participation in management, there is no scope for upward and downward communication, there is no scope for seniority and juniority, there is no scope for skillful presentation, there is no scope for increase of the fringe benefits. Apart from salaries and wages, perquisites are not up to the mark. So of all these factors, if the employees are having, there is a turnover of employees, attrition rate. The attrition rate can also be one of the important indicators of human resource development or human resource management. So in human resource, we have KPIs, indicators, whether do we have the skillful human resources or we need to give training to them, they are regular or not. If they are regular, their attendance is regular, then no problem. If there is a attrition, turnover, what are the reasons? All these indicate something need to be done in human resources. The indicators may be in terms of production, the indicators may be in terms of management. You can take the indicators, examples. You can take the indicator examples of any activity of the organization. Now, let us discuss the last topic, that is key result areas. See, the key result areas, KRA, can be understood as the fundamental areas of outcome for which a department is accountable. Fundamental areas of outcome for which department is accountable. It is the strategic factor, implicit or explicit, to the firm from where favorable outcomes can be attained to reach the final goal and take a step ahead towards the organization's vision. See, I will give few examples for this. The few examples of key result areas. See, what are the key result areas of the department? It could be revenue generation, profit generation, customer satisfaction, employee engagement. These are the key areas. So depending upon these key areas, these are the few examples I am giving you. Key result, the areas which are considered as key result areas, which match the organizational goal. To reach the organizational goal, these key result areas are very, very, very important. They are both explicit and implicit, internal and external. Generation of revenue by a department, increase of profit by a department, customer satisfaction, and the involvement of employees, engagement of employees. All these areas are called key result areas, where the areas which give good results in assessing the company's viability, in company's goodwill. So dear students, in the last session we had a discussion on the key performance indicators and the key result areas. In key performance indicators, we had a discussion on what are the various indicators which indicate whether the business is doing well or need to be adopted a new strategy. And in the key result areas, we have discussed what are the key result areas that are actually the base for judging the company's performance, whether it is performing well or not, whether the department is performing well or not. What for? To reach the goal of the organization. So dear students, at the end of this session, I have given you multiple choice questions. Try to solve them. If you do not understand, you feel free to call me, and study material is also provided. Go through the study material and also try to collect the study material from the available online and offline sources, and try to incorporate new things which you come across in any of those study materials, and add that study material into this available study material, and try to increase your knowledge, and see to it that you gain more and more knowledge. So since it is a last session. I am giving my mobile number to you. If you are having any doubt, you can call me and you can discuss with me. 9535475349. I'll repeat once again, 9535475349. This is my mobile number. You can call me if you have any doubt. And at this point of time where the world is facing this pandemic, stay home, stay safe, and create awareness to your surroundings. Create awareness among your relatives, friends, groups, surroundings, neighbors about this pandemic. Be brave and see to it that everybody is getting benefit from you. So thanks very much for watching this video. Stay home, stay safe, take care. Bye bye.